during the height of the afternoon commute.
One of the teens accused of killing a Tacoma pot shop worker during a robbery in March, waiting to find out whether he'll be tried as an adult. He made his first court appearance in juvenile court this afternoon. KOMO's Nick Popham was in court for that hearing and spoke with a close friend of the 15-year-old who's facing first-degree murder charges.
It's a tough day for LaVanya Walker.
I can't believe that he did that.
She raced down to the Pierce County Juvenile Court to be there for family friend Marshawn Jones, who's accused of robbing several pot shops in Pierce and King counties and killing World of Weed worker Jordan Brown back on March 19th. It was yesterday we learned that through conversations with people like his mom and Walker that Jones decided to turn himself in. This afternoon in court, while the judge didn't allow us to show Jones's face on camera, it was decided that a hearing would be set to determine whether to try the 15-year-old as an adult.
Based on this history and the current allegations, the state has great concern for the safety of the community.
Given the seriousness of these allegations, I am recommending that Marshawn remain in secure detention at this time.
But Walker says despite the allegations, Jones is only 15 and should be treated like a 15-year-old, not an adult.
I'm here to support him, and I'm not okay with that, charging as an adult.
She says she hasn't seen evidence pointing the robberies to Jones. Police would point to security camera video and other parts of their investigation that they say shows Jones and 16-year-old Montrell Hatfield committing some of these crimes.
I told him, try not to worry about yesterday, just focus on today.
While Jones turned himself in yesterday, Hatfield is still on the loose.
This homicide will have lasting repercussions through our community, and not just for the victim's family, but for the suspect families as well, because they are very young. Our goal, of course, is to get him into custody safely without anyone else in the community being injured.
The court will decide on whether to try Jones as an adult on April 25th. In Tacoma, Nick Popham, KOMO News.
Yeah, Molly, frustrated is the word from the neighborhood. They want to see those RVs gone and all the problems associated with them. But people staying in the RV say they want to see a permanent solution that doesn't include a shelter.
No, it doesn't look like they cleaned up anything. It looks the exact same to me.
When crews cleaned up mounds of garbage from a sprawling RV encampment along southwest Andover, the neighborhood expected the RVs would be gone too. Yet they're still there, and the folks who call them home refuse to leave, like Gizmo.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
In fact, Gizmo wants dumpsters and portable toilets to help the camp that's taken over the area for 3 years.
It's bad enough we're homeless. Why do we have to live with all this trash and filth and complaints and hatred from the community?
It's more than just garbage problems. Just recently, a gunman shot a man passing by on his bicycle. In 2018, this RV crashed into the health club next door. Brandon Bruner says he's seen people with weapons while taking his son to daycare nearby.
That was not a very comforting feeling, heading to the daycare, seeing that kind of thing. I just worried about safety for my son.
Right now, SDOT says parking enforcement is only towing RVs that are completely abandoned, not RVs where people have identified them as their home and are refusing to relocate. City officials are working to enforce the revived 72-hour parking limit with occupied RVs in certain instances.
It's kind of sad, but also I think we need to have a place where they can all go and not just be here where people are trying to run a business, but there could be a safe spot for them to park, not right next to homes, right next to daycares, right next to gymnasiums.
Gizmo says safe lots are also long overdue. They're spaces where people can park their RVs and have access to hygiene stations and trash cans.
You ever wake up with a rat on top of you in the middle of the night?
Well, Molly, concerns came up that the punishment was too harsh. Now, the initial proposal made watching a street race, which happens a lot at this downtown intersection, well, punishable by up to 90 days in jail. Tonight, the city council dropped that down to 30 days, but a final vote is yet to come. There are nights when street races and sideshows take over entire neighborhoods in Tacoma. The drivers are already breaking the law. Soon the crowds that show up to watch could get in trouble too.
I feel it is so dangerous. Because I think it's a little bit of encouragement, and they're supporting something that could be dangerous.
Tacoma police released this video last month where spectators taunted officers. One man blocked a patrol car by doing push-ups in front of it.
So when you're doing push-ups and set-ups, you may think you're winning today, but believe me, it may be tomorrow, it may be the next day, but we're gonna come get you.
A proposed ordinance would make it illegal for people to come out and watch street races, penalizing them with fines or even jail time of up to 90 days. Councilmember Keith Blocker called that extreme and got the council to take the time behind bars to 30 days at most.
Putting people in jail behind bars, to me, it just doesn't sit well. But I understand this is a serious problem in the city of Tacoma.
Not all council members think the spectator crackdown is the right tactic. Others say the crowds often help coordinate the events, acting as flaggers or lookouts, and they can get in the way of first responders headed to emergencies.
I mean, if there weren't any spectators, there probably wouldn't be any racers, right?
Now, middle schoolers at a Burien school are having a day in support of Ukraine. They just wrapped up a peer-to-peer conversation with kids in the same age in Lviv, Ukraine, living through the war. KOMO News' Tyra Majors has more on that special meeting.
Two groups of students, same ages, two worlds apart, connecting on common humanity during tough times.
We are all scared.
The 7th and 8th graders at Burien's St. Francis of Assisi spent their day in class getting to know their peers, living through the war in Ukraine.
They just kind of talked about their experience in the war, and we asked them questions.
That was Yeva Bennett, a student at St. Francis. She's been Zooming once a week with another Yeva of the same age in Ukraine since the beginning of the pandemic, practicing each other's languages.
And I choose planning my time because I don't know.
The two Yevas introducing their classmates to each other today.
They talked about how they can't see their friends as often anymore, but their relationships are getting a lot stronger because they're learning to care about the people around them a lot more in the war, and they're really scared for their friends' safety.
The Ukrainian children zoomed in from Lviv, which has been largely spared of attacks due to the proximity to the border with Poland.
A lot of times they brought up how Lviv is a safer zone in Ukraine.
But that didn't stop some of the students from sharing their ongoing fears.
A month ago was receiving all night.
The students in Burien getting a close-up view at what life is like for the Ukrainian children in this current climate.
So I'm really privileged that we are able to still continue to learn and help these people that are struggling.
Their principal, Rosemary Leifer, saying that her school continues to impress her.
This is something that we do as a school community. We look out for each other. We look out for people in the world.
Yeva and her classmates have also donated a number of boxes and supplies to the Ukrainian Association of Washington State. They say they'll continue their efforts to support Ukraine. Tyra Majors, KOMO News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.